when you were younger? Your number one station, one hour of intimate music from across the Midlands. This is OBC Radio.
How come?
Wait one moment. Let me share the file. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon. A pleasant good afternoon to you all. It's a beautiful day. We say good morning to those of you who are listening in Jamaica. I know it's 11 p.m. in Jamaica. The camera back more. It's 11 a.m. in Jamaica, sorry. It's 12 noon here in the US. We're located in Florida. Today podcast, I Just Want to Be Free. You're tuning in on, for those of you who are tuning in on OBC Radio via the app, whether you're listening to us via the Alexa device,
App Store for
or
iPhones,
the Apple
or
App Store.
Google Play Store for our lovely Androidians.
Those of you who are tuning in on Facebook or YouTube or the World Wide Web OBC Radio. And of course, those of you who are viewing from Instagram, we appreciate you. Today podcast, I Just Want to Be Free. You're listening to the voice of Dr. Jermaine Gordon and my co-host,
Perry Ramirez.
Remember those songs that got your feet tapping when you were younger? Your number one station, one hour of intimate music from across the Midlands. This is OBC Radio.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Good day to you all, good day to you all. Hi, Mr. Santos. So today we are here to discuss how emotional, immature parents affect their adult children's life. Interesting topic. And of course, this segment is brought to you by Olankon Fashion Boutique, where you can get all your male, kids and female apparel. No! You can get all your kids, male, female and kids apparel. You can check out the website at Olankon, www.olanquan.com, or give a call at 1-800-944-2166. So we're here to discuss how emotional, immature parents affect their adult children's life. As we know, a lot of immature parents go through childbirth and have kids. And we are reading and sharing our views from Lindsay C. Gibson, a PSYD, the individual who wrote this book. And we have seen where a lot of stuff that came from it is like we can say we can relate to it.
Yeah.
Emotional loneliness comes from not having enough emotional intimacy with other people. It can start in childhood due to feeling emotionally unseen by self-preoccupied parents. Or it can arise in an adulthood when an emotional connection is lost. If it has been a lifelong feeling, it points to the likelihood of not being sufficiently emotional respond to as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to say in regards to that?
No, keep going.
Growing up in a family with emotional immature parents is a lonely experience. These parents may look and act perfectly normal, caring for their child's physical health and providing meals and safety. However, if they don't make a solid emotional connection with their child, the child will have a gaping hole where true security might have been. The loneliness of feeling unseen by others is a fundamental a pain as physical injury, but it doesn't show on the outside. Emotional loneliness is a vague and a private experience, not easy to see or describe. You might call it a feeling of emptiness or being alone in the world. Some people have called this feeling external loneliness, but there is nothing existential about it. If you feel it, it came from your family. Children have no way of identifying a lack of emotional intimacy in their relationship with a parent. It isn't a concept they have, and it isn't even less likely that they can understand that their parents are emotionally immature. All they have is a gut feeling of emptiness, which is how all they have is a gut feeling of emptiness, which is how a child experiences loneliness. With an immature parents, the child remedy for loneliness is simply to go to a parent for affection connection. But if your parent was scared of deep feeling, you might have been left with an uneasy sense of shame or needing comforting. When the children of an emotional parent grow up, the core emptiness remains, even if they have a superficial normal life. Their loneliness can continue into adulthood if they unwritten choose relationship that give them enough emotional connection. They may go to school, works, marry, and raise children, but all the while they still would be haunted by the core sense of emotional isolation. In this chapter, we'll look at people's experience and emotional loneliness along with how self-awareness helps and understand what they were missing and how to change them. Emotional intimacy. What's emotional intimacy? Emotional intimacy involves knowing that you have someone you can tell anything to, someone to go to with your feelings about anything and everything. You feel completely safe opening up to the other person, whether it is formed of words, even though an exchange of looks, or by just being together quietly in the state of connection. Emotional Intimacy is profoundly fulfilling, creating a sense of being seen for who you really are. It can only exist when the other person seeks to know you, not judge you. As children, the basis of our security is emotional connection with our caretaker, emotional engaged parents. Emotional engaged parents make children feel that they always have someone to go to. This kind of security requires genuine emotional interaction with parents. Parents who are emotionally immature engage in the level of emotional connection almost all the time. They have developed enough self-awareness to be comfortable with their own feel. They have developed enough self-awareness to be comfortable with their own feeling as well as those of other people. More importantly, they are emotionally attuned to their children, noticing their children's mood and welcoming their feeling with interest. A child safe connecting with such as a parent, whether seeking comfort or sharing enthusiasm. Mature parents make their children feel that they enjoy engaging with them and that it's fine to talk about emotional issues. These parents have a lively, balanced emotional life and usually consistent in their attentiveness and interest toward their children. They are emotionally dependable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think with the age?
So let's go back to the first point that was on the previous page. I was like, why isn't he stopping after reading every paragraph and just reading the whole part to the next bold? But okay.
Okay, you went.
So the next part, the first part that I tuned into is like, parents say that, oh, I love you because I put a roof over your head. I keep food in the house. You don't see how I love you? I keep clothes on your back. You don't see how I love you? We all heard that before. Well, there's something called emotional needs, and just because, yeah, your kid isn't homeless with you, which is great, but that's just one part of the pie. You got a few more slices you got to deal with. For example, emotional well-being. Like some children I see nowadays, they could just be sassy and just be themselves or whatever. Like some of these girls and just dance and just like tell their parents like what they want and be whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like for example, I remember I was tutoring this one girl and she loved dancing and she always tell her mom like, I want to dance. I just love it. She had these like pink little braids that she braided into her hair, like the pink hair.
Mm-hmm.
She picked it out herself for her mom, and they're like chatting like all bubbly. She was telling me like, oh, like I'm like my mom and me are like great friends. Like I'm talking to my mom about anything. I was like, oh, that's real nice. Like you should keep that relationship with your mom. Like there's a lot of kids that can just talk to their father, their mom, like anything. You get what I'm saying? Like any problem, just go to them. There's no like, oh my god, like
What does it comes with? When you say they can talk to their parents about anything, does it comes with mature parents or immature parents?
It comes with mature parents. You don't want to have an immature parent. Nobody wants to have an immature parent.
But majority does. Majority of the world.
Most of the time, everybody does because most of the time people are telling you, don't cry over it. Like, just get on with it. Keep it pushing. Don't vent about it. Just like, why talk about it? And you can't really tell a child that at all. It doesn't help any problem. It just causes an issue with communication down the line because then when there's something bothering them, most of the time what they're going to do is just be like, oh yeah, leave it alone, because most people tell you to leave it alone. So it's the whole point of trying something if trying never really works. You know what I'm saying? Cause, like, you know how society is. Mm-hmm. Like, why try? So there's a lot of like different notions to it, but you want a mature parent. You want a parent that you can go up to, you can come out to, you could tell them like almost anything and they won't look at you like, damn.
But when we say mature parents, we're talking both parents being in the child's life because you can have You can have a mature parent, which is just a single parent, and however you still lost the emotional intimacy from that parent because it's just a single parent. That parent don't have much time to do that intimacy, that emotional intimacy connection because they're busy being mother and father at the same
You
time.
sure?
As in providing.
And there's nobody you can say that beats that.
That providing food over their head.
So there's no single parents that can do it both?
They have done it both, but then it always lack the emotional intimacy.
You sure?
I mean, I can speak for myself because my mom had me at the age of 40. That wasn't immature. But at the same time, by looking at this and speaking of it, I'm realizing that, oh, wow, because the question that I just asked you just now, that do you think age has something to do with it, and was like, oh, nobody wants immature parents. And I'm like, oh, but majority of the world are immature parents. But then I'm looking at myself and I'm like, oh, but I fall under a mature parent. But if I should be honest, I was lack the intimacy. So I'm looking at it now. Why did I lack that emotional intimacy? And I'm seeing where, okay, because it was a single parent, it was just mom alone. Mom was being mom and dad have 3 boys to take care of while focusing on going out to the breadwinner of the family, putting food on the table, seeing to it clothes was washed, seeing to it, yeah. So that emotional intimacy was lacked, even though it was from a mature parent. That's why